big thanks to Capital Link and Nicholas for giving us this opportunity. Today, we are all witnessing a remarkable transformation across the Middle East, driven by bold national visions, strategic capital investments, innovation, and a relentless push for diversification. Investments in infrastructure, innovation, and sustainability, combined with its unique geographic positioning, are reinforcing the Middle East's role as a gateway between the East and the West. The transformation is not just economic, it's strategic. The Middle East is ensuring its energy dominance for decades to come, not only through its traditional hydrocarbon strength, but also by pioneering green hydrogen production powered by abundant solar resources. I would outline the region's gravitas under three main dimensions: energy leadership and transition, strategic maritime geography, economic diversification, and infrastructure growth. Today, we are privileged, or I'm privileged, to be joined by some of the most influential leaders who are going to shape not only the Middle East, but even the global agenda going forward. So let us dive into this conversation and explore how this region, Gravitas, is redefining energy and shipping for the world. So I now invite Khalid Alhammad to both introduce yourself and for your opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Pawan. And thanks to Nicholas. It's really a great pleasure to be on this forum. The first time I was in Oslo, 2023, during the North Shipping. And I'm very happy to see that Capital Link Forum now is coming to our region. I think this shows the importance of the region. My name is Khalid Alhammad, and I'm the president of Bahri Ship Management. And as the name say, we are the in-house ship manager within the Bahri Group. Bahri owns 104 ocean-going vessels, and we are managing 107. So the extra ships are coming from Fulk Maritime. It's another new company that was established by the PIF, mainly for containers and feeding container vessels. But just to explain, technical manager versus technical manager, there are differences, and I'm very happy to say that we are the full technical manager of Bahri, meaning that we're not only doing the maintenance, we're doing the full crewing, from recruitment to training to deployment. We do the full procurement as well, from spares to services to bunkering. We have our own in-house shipbuilding department. Over the past 10 years, we've built 35 vessels. So we have the full capability of a full in-house ship manager, and that gives us actually the strategic position within Bahri and within the country to both be part of the supply chain security and resilience of the country. The title says it's all, the Gravitas. There is no doubt that our region is like the sun within the earth in many ways. It is energy rich. We've been energy rich for decades, but what we are richer now more is in resources of human capital. We have a young and vibrant citizens in this region that are highly educated, very excited, and they're just ready to hit the ground running. We are part of deploying their training when it comes to the maritime sector. At the same time, our location is extremely unique. We're basically reclaiming our position because we are between the East and the West, and we're between two powerful seas, both on the Gulf and the Red Sea. And this is not only it's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. And again, thank you for the invitation.
I now ask Nitin to introduce himself and give his opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nitin Mathur. I am the Managing Director of Seer Marine's commercial shipping business. Very good topic, especially for us. We are a Middle East company based in Abu Dhabi. And this region, which is known to be a hydrocarbon region, is now evolving into something much larger. It is evolving into a place where capital, maritime innovation, people, and technology is all coming together. And presenting ourselves to be the next generation shipping and energy. If we look at how UAE has evolved itself, we have seen in the last COP28, we have taken up the net zero 2050 and the UAE 2050 energy strategy, and which together has 150 to 200 billion capital allocation, of which 45 billion has already been allocated. This kind of investment is not just an investment or not just an environmental goal, but more of a strategic investment into industrial production and innovation and investments in general. So I think we are in a very exciting place. When we talk about Al Seer Marine, we are totally aligned with the Middle Eastern view on this. We have now 18 ships in the water, and that has all been brought up in the same infrastructure that we are in the Middle East, and we continue to grow. One other thing that I would talk about quite substantially is the use of AI. We have adopted AI in a very big way. We have adopted a platform called NOAA, which has become an AI board observer for our business. We're also integrating AI into our day-to-day business so that our decision-making is well supported. So that will be my opening remarks, but I would look forward to the discussion today.
Thank you, Nitin and Franck. The same, please.
Thank you very much. I'll try not to be repetitive. I represent Asyad Shipping, which is a shipping company placed in Oman, in Muscat, the capital. We are operating in the vicinity of 80 to 100 ships, whereof we own about 50. We operate in a diverse market of tankers big and small, bulkers big and small, LNG, and a little bit of containers. We also have our own in-house ship management called Oman Ship Management Company, like Bahri has, and do everything in-house except for manning, where we
can do that.
quietly
That was an opportunity.
quietly establishing ourselves, and we are doing that through development of local talent as well. So Oman is a huge country, but a very little population, and we have a lot of local talent, both for ratings and officers that we develop with us, and we have now senior officers, captains, and chief engineers, men and women, if anybody should be in doubt. So we do that. We of course been following the whole MEPC discussion and the energy discussions very closely, as everybody else has, and found that there are still so many uncertainties and difficulties in that our philosophy for now is to keep an eye on everything, but focus a lot of our resources on simply reducing energy consumption on every ship we have. That serves both the environment and, of course, our charterers and our own expenses.
Thank you so much, Franck. And Gaurav, can we have your introduction and your opening remarks, please?
Good day, everybody. Thank you for Capital Link for having me on board. I would say I would be the youngest on this panel today, and I wear a few different hats. I do a few different things. We are a family-owned company. We've been into ship recycling predominantly, and then we ventured into cash buying in 2010, and now we are also ship owners. We have a total fleet of 30 vessels, out of which 17 of them are anchor handlers. On the offshore segment, we have 2 VLCCs, 3 Capes, and some mid-sized tankers. That's how we started our shipping side of the business. As you know, the recycling industry is very cyclical. It goes down and up depending on how the freight rates around the world work upon. So with keeping that in mind, to ensure that as a company we have both the sides of the things, we decided to and venture into the ship owning side of the business. So to explain a bit more, the Gravitas has been a perfectly chosen word for this panel. And, the UAE and the Middle East are in a very good location, having the Suez Canal, the Strait of Hormuz around the corner. And with this, our ships are regularly passing by, and our offshore assets are also managing the energy side of the things over here. And as UAE has been growing dramatically by a lot of investments into the new technologies, a lot of ports have been upgraded. With all these things, and Middle East becoming more and more predominant around the world, whenever we talk about shipping, all the people want to be here. So we believe that the future for the whole region, not just UAE, will be great in the coming years. So with that, I would like to close my remarks.
So great. As you can see, we've got a very interesting panel covering just about not only the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Gaurav with one leg in India and one in Middle East. So we really got a diverse group. So let's start the conversation. And I'm going to start with Khalid. Saudi Arabia's transformation journey has inspired global attention. And Bahri Ship Management stands as a key enabler for Saudi Vision 2030. So how do you see Bahri Ship Management's role evolving in supporting this national vision?
The Saudi Vision 2030 basically stands on three pillars. It's a vibrant society, it's a growing economy, and it's an ambitious nation. So we are tapping into all of these, especially the first two. Now, at Bahri Ship Management, we're very proud of having our multinational and multicultural both on our vessels and in the office. It's something that we're very proud of. We have more than 40 nationalities, and we like to tap to all of these multicultures and the different experiences. Nevertheless, we are also building our own capabilities in Saudi Arabia in terms of the maritime experience. So we interact, and we have actual agreements with the academies in the region, especially in Saudi Arabia. So we have an agreement with King Abdulaziz University Maritime Academy, where we deploy over 150 cadets from that academy on our fleet, and we train them free of charge. So that's something that we take care of as Bahri, as part of our contribution and into the Vision 2030. At the same time, we partner with the National Maritime Academy in the Eastern Saudi Arabia. We're very proud of also partnering with the Sharjah Maritime Academy, specifically for the female cadets, and we've deployed a number of female cadets in our fleet. We're very proud of that. In addition, as well, because of all of the experiences and knowledge, whether it's shipbuilding or the dry docking and the maintenance that we do, also Bahri is an equity partner in the upcoming extremely large and technologically advanced shipyard in Saudi Arabia, which is called IMI, the International Maritime Industry. And this is part of our participation as well. We work very closely with them. We just signed a contract, in fact, with them to build the bulk carriers. So this is something we're eager to see. And this and many of these activities that we bring in terms of our experience and deploying that into Saudi Arabia is all basically helping the Vision 2030, specifically in the maritime industry, but it's part of our contribution to the society and economy as a whole.
Thank you, Khalid. I think I'm going to jump to Franck now, because it's the other kind of national company, I would say, so to speak. And earlier this year, we saw Asyad Shipping raise $340 million in an IPO. Correct. And then you suddenly transitioned from a government-controlled entity to a public-listed one.
Yes.
So how has this transformation impacted Asyad's operations and your growth plans?
No, it has been a very very fruitful development. It has opened up many opportunities for us, obviously, and it has helped us to really review our business model and our operational efficiency and commercial efficiency as well, of course. And given us the opportunity to focus even stronger on the key areas we are going to develop in or develop further in. Obviously, the transport of energy is important for us. We have expertise in this, like our good friends from Bahri, of course. And we see many opportunities in it, both in respect of what you call it traditional energy, but also the new energies that we believe will come up eventually, given the time and the development needed to do that. At the same time, industrial shipping is which is by and large mining and so on, is interesting for us. We like to be in these sectors. It's all about efficiency and good ships. So we will definitely stay there. And going public was obviously an exercise for us, a good exercise, and an exercise that has brought us to what should we say, a different level of discussion with both investors and partners.
Thank you, Franck. And of course, I think once you're public listed, you're a little bit under the radar as well with every action that you take. So moving to Nitin. Nitin, there's something very common about you and me, both having spent most of our career in Singapore and Far East. And since you came here, you were a key person in the establishment of Seer. But how would you compare the growth mindset and expansion strategies between the Middle East and Singapore and Hong Kong?
Right. So actually, when I was at Singapore, I was very closely associated with Singapore Shipping Association and chaired some committees within Singapore, which actually gave me a very good insight into how national policies can transform industries. And I think that is exactly what we see in this part of the world, which is, but on a much larger scale and with a much faster speed. So in general, I think in this part of the world, we talk about the capital availability, it's right there. There is energy transportation as a segment. There is a focus on renewable energies. So this part of the world, with the way it's geographically stationed and the governmental view. And when I talk about that, I think Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, Qatar, all have established their new maritime identities, which are digitally driven, data-driven, diverse. And so when I look at it together, in comparison with Singapore, I think it's very similar, except that this is in a much larger scale.
No, I totally agree with you. Besides being very dynamic, I think the amount of capital which is available also totally transforms this region, becoming more and more important in the years to come. Moving to you, Gaurav. SPM Shipping chose UAE as its global headquarters. What factors influenced this decision? And how is the location supporting operational efficiency and future growth for SPM Shipping?
Yeah, so it was quite obvious to be here. There are several reasons for it. First of all, the ease of trade, doing trading, as we are also into the cash buying sector, we are buying and selling ships continuously. And because of that, there is a lot of turnover. And when you go with a turnover in many of the countries, they imply it as tax evasion, whereas over here, we do not imply it as a tax evasion, but as a proper business. So the ease of trade, there were some regulatory issues which we faced in India. Because of that, we decided that UAE may be a good position to be. Then the time zones, as you know, from here, you can work the Americas, you can work Europe, you can work Far East, and of course, Middle East and India. So with this, the time zones, because we are operating worldwide, we need to also ascertain that the time zones are placed well. Then we had the major thing which also made us change is the human resource availability. Over here, you can find the best of the best people with so many nationalities available from around the world. We can find the people we require to run the show. Then the free trade zones, they are also quite stable with the tax laws and other things. And we also got a lot of accessibility to the owners, charterers. You see, when we were back in India, we would get 1/10 of the visitors what we receive today. And at the end of the day, shipping is a very personal business and a relationship-driven business. So considering all these facts, we decided that keeping our headquarters in the UAE would make the best sense for the company.
Yeah, makes sense. I think that's why most of the audience is here as well. So moving to you, Khalid. You know, Saudi has one of the largest oil reserves in the world, and its location between two critical maritime choke points, the Suez Canal on one side and the Straits of Hormuz on the other side, presents both an opportunity and a risk. How does Bahri Ship Management navigate these strategic challenges to ensure operational continuity and security?
I'm not going to tell you that's our strategic edge.
No,
But joking aside, we take this very seriously. Again, we're very fortunate that Bahri, with its very large fleet, especially having second largest VLCC ownership of 50 VLCCs, it's extremely big challenge and the responsibility is very high. And we're very fortunate as the in-house ship manager that embedded with us, of course. We do have our own security department, and it's the relationships that we have built and the connections that we have with the regional naval forces and the international naval forces, also the contacts in terms of streaming intelligence and information that we receive, that has been very helpful for us to make sure that we mitigate the risk that are happening, because we are in a very well-known, very big geopolitical hot place. This is something we've been living through. This is part of our life. But we take many steps to make sure that we protect our vessels. But one of the things that we talk generally about the risk assessments and contacts is the people on board the vessels. You have to understand, especially from a ship manager perspective, the ships are run by people. And if those people don't trust you, they're too afraid to go into Bab al-Mandab, the Red Sea, or the Strait of Hormuz, they will basically force you to stop the ship and be replaced. And we're very fortunate that in Bahri Ship Management and Bahri as a whole, that we have developed a culture between us on the shore side and the offshore, our seafarers, where there's a lot of trust. Because we have had our unfortunate bad experiences back in 2018 and 19. We were a targeted company in the past. But now, thank God, because of that relationship we have built with our people, we can go through these hot areas without having any issues. Nobody wants to be removed from the vessel. The information that we have is ensuring that our vessels will go in and out safely. Having the Saudi flag has been an advantage for us as well, because we are one of the few companies that actually still trades into the Red Sea. So that does give us and provide us with an opportunity.
Thank you, Khalid. And sorry to, it's something which you look at the map and the first thing you see is that. And of course, moving to Franck here now. So Oman has this beautiful geographical location, which allows you to have ports outside the choke point of Gulf of Hormuz. So how are you, using this advantage to leverage your growth?
Well, we obviously, whenever there are challenges in the mentioned waterways, being that the Red Sea or the Gulf of Hormuz, then we can offer alternatives in various ways. That's a good thing. Nevertheless, we are not hoping for trouble in these two waters. We are never hoping for trouble for our neighbors. We in Oman we have good political relations, and as some are saying in the Middle East, and Oman is a little bit the Switzerland of the Middle East. We keep neutral and respect our neighbors and try to keep good relations with everybody, and it helps us. We can operate in these areas. We are, of course, equally to other operators, very vigilant, and we keep an eye out for developments. And I also dare to say that the relationships in the Middle East is that we look after each other and share information and so on. So we have a very clear picture of the risk. And we have, throughout this crisis, we have operated tankers and LNGs and container ships through the Red Sea. And our crews have been convinced that we could take care of them, and we did it in their best interest. So we feel that we have the local knowledge and the relationships in the region to operate here, just as well as we can operate in other regions. We also go to West Africa, which is maybe not the safest place in the world.
No, but I didn't mean it from that perspective, because we know that during this entire conflict, the oil flow never really stopped, or the gas flow never really stopped.
No.
So moving to you, Nitin. Nitin, you are the managing director, and you were also the first employee of Seer Marine's commercial shipping arm. You built a business from scratch and have had impressive growth over the last 4 years. So since we're talking about the Middle East, what do you think were the biggest challenges and opportunities in scaling this operation in the Middle East?
Thank you. I would say we would not have been able to achieve what we did if we were in any other part of the world. And I say that with utmost honesty and humility. We are a listed company. We have an innovation, defense, technology part of the business, which is the main part of our business, and yacht management, which is what we were known to be doing. Even being a listed company, I think because of the national will, the national policies, and the will of which transcends into private sector, so which we were able to make decisions very quickly, and we were able to take strategic decisions. So I think we kept on with a couple of main factors. One was to have strategic flexibility in our decisions. Two was to have a decarbonization agenda at all times whenever we were looking at assets. And with the capital, as I was talking about, availability in this part of the world, we looked at capital here and then diversified, so which was very quick. And I would give it to our board, who have been really supportive, and our management, who were supportive in helping us take those decisions and approving a lot of them very quickly. And I think you just have to see how the business is transforming, that our board now has a AI tool which supports their decision even further. So I think we were already pretty quick in taking decisions with such investments, and now with the new tools that we have with our board, who are now well assisted with AI, which will give them a new oversight into how board papers are presented, what are they going to be looking at in terms of financials, in terms of immediate matters of the board, all will be very quickly looked at through AI. So I think we are positioning ourselves for the next generation of maritime decisions.
That's interesting. I thought only the computer engineers and software engineers have a problem with AI, but I can see you're finding a solution for us through AI as well. You're all going to be unemployed soon, Nitin.
We have already gotten a whole team of AI engineers who are looking at data architecture within the company and looking at how intelligent decisions can be made rather swiftly.
No, thank you. That's interesting. Moving to you, Gaurav, India's Maritime Vision 2030, it was quite a bit in the news a couple of weeks ago. It offers incentives for shipbuilding and ship recycling through credit-linked schemes. Given SPM's synergy with cash-buying business through Best Overseas, Priya Blue, do you see an opportunity to bridge Middle East ship owners with India's maritime ambitions, fueling fleet expansion while supporting India's shipbuilding and recycling ecosystem?
So, as you all know, surely India is now the economic growth of India is unprecedented in the last few years. With the vision of India's vision of Maritime 2030, which has a clear roadmap where they are talking about a strong shipbuilding nation and also a strong ship recycling, but a green ship recycling destination. With the incentive which the government has put in for the ship recycling sector that, for example, an owner who wishes to recycle a ship in India will get anywhere between 30 to 40% of credit of the total amount of the value at which it has been recycled. These are still under talks between the government departments. There is a ranging between 5% to 40%, which will be out soon, where the government will discuss. But a lot of these, a lot of the Korean large heavyweight shipbuilders have now done a partnership with two of the major shipbuilding yards in India today. So considering these facts, we as SPM Shipping or as a group, we are there to do the recycling side of the things, rebuild and new build and repair. So and in the whole lot of things, we would have a very good synergy as a company to be able to bridge some of the owners who wish to do these kind of deals. And this will also put us in a very good state. We are here to help what the vision of India is in 2030, and we are pretty certain that we will be able to bridge the gap between the owners who may not have that knowledge of how the Indian market works and how the Indian system works. But with us having these both the legs in the international market and in the national market, this will give us an edge over most of our people around us. So that's where we would say on the maritime vision of 2030 on the question. Thanks.
Thanks, Gaurav. I guess that explains why you set up shop in Dubai with SPM Shipping. During the recent MEPC extraordinary session in October, it was interesting to see Saudi led the global voice for the delay of the IMO net zero framework. And the region stopped being driven by global agenda, but ensured you had a say in how it was shaped. So that was, I think, a pretty big milestone. Despite this, we know that Bahri Ship Management has demonstrated leadership in fuel efficiency, innovation, and including investments in dual-fuel ships. How are you balancing commercial imperatives with your commitment to fleet decarbonization and sustainable innovation?
Most difficult subject for me. It's really the subject, but thank you very much. Well, first of all, we're very proud that we've managed to delay the IMO MEPC. I'll have to say this to begin with, because the way it is designed, it's structured, is almost impossible to implement. Basically, the whole net zero framework from the IMO is saying don't use fossil fuel. That's the only thing that it says, which is the same as the Fuel EU, regulation. And this is pushing the industries to basically to use first non-carbon fuels, and that's only ammonia. And if you're running a vessel, ammonia is highly corrosive and extremely poisonous. You don't want your people to be using ammonia as a fuel. And then the other new thing, which is called the e-fuels. So you have e-diesel, e-methanol, and e-LNG. If anybody looks at the details for what does the E stand for, at the end of the day, it's also fuel that has carbon. It's going to produce emissions. The difference is how it's made up. So the one that we have now is made from dinosaur juice, and the one that they're looking at is something that's made of chemistry. But I digress now because it's a painful subject for me. Now, taking this into what we have been doing, over 10 years, we have been investing heavily, especially when it comes to the VLCCs, on basically improving efficiencies. And we've started doing this because bunker is one of the most expensive elements and cost element for you as a shipping company. And for 10 years, we have been applying high-quality coating for the hull to improve the efficiency and the hull to reduce friction. We have been looking and we have installed, actually, energy-saving devices, including Boss Cap fin, Mevis duct. As we have renewed our vessels, there is no doubt the younger vessels, and this was said by the previous panels, that the engines are much more efficient now. The hull design are very efficient. So if you look at the VLCC back in 2008 versus the VLCC now, you're almost seeing a 30 or 35% reduction in the fuel consumption. And one of the most important part as well, and I'm looking at Mr. George Procopio, which he repeats a lot, which is slow steaming. If you slow steam, you can really save a lot of fuel. We have been doing this to be more efficient, but nevertheless, we have to be practical, and this was said by the previous panels as well. You just cannot throw capital at things that and goals that are up in the air because somebody thinks it's the right thing to do. Shipping is moving 80% of the commodities and goods around the globe. Shipping produces 3% of the global emissions. The difference between us and the rest of the industry is that we have the IMO that we have to follow. So we have to be careful on what things we can do. What's important from a consumer point of view and for the global economy is to make sure that the transportation of energy, of commodity, of goods, it's done with the least expensive way and the safest way. For the net zero framework that the IMO is doing, or what the EU is basically pushing for, is going to make shipping expensive. At the end of the day, you have to pay for it as a consumer. And I think that's enough for me to say on this.
No, thank you, Khalid. Nitin, what would you?
Yeah, actually, I really feel very strongly on this topic, to be honest. So if you look at it, the whole industry, and when I say whole industry, it's energy, regulators, shipping. We are also fragmented. I mean, the recent MEPC meeting is testament to the fact that we're just so fragmented we can't really come up to a decision. And secondly, I would say, like as a shipping investor, we should not be made to be looking at the next generation fuels. We are not fuel producers. If we needed to do it right, we should do it right, and we should not use the decarbonization agenda as a competitive advantage. And I totally understand where you're coming from. And as a maritime investor, I feel that unless it is done correctly, carbon done correctly is to be done well, is the right way to do it. But to do it in a fragmented way is going to get us nowhere.
No, absolutely. I think if you open that, maybe I opened that can of worm on the net zero framework, so I better hold on to it. But there are definitely two sides to it, and some very good arguments put across here, absolutely. Franck, I know you guys are the only ones who've also really gone innovative with rotor sails.
Yes.
So would you like to share how successful that has been?
Sure. But first I will say that I'm really surprised how many institutions and individuals that has expressed their surprise that the MEPC was not accepted. And I must say, to us it was absolutely no surprise. You have a scheme where there's absolutely no clarity in where the money you are collecting is going. A lot of them will end up like the EU rules, going into local governments' pockets. They become part of a tax, and having lived in Scandinavia where we have very high taxes, I can tell you, once the government get a tax, they're never going to get it back again. Right? It just doesn't happen. So I think it was not very well prepared in any way. And as my first employer taught me, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. And I don't think this was done very properly. So back to saving.
No, absolutely.
I also have emotions.
I think
we have on one of our VLOCs, we have an installation of rotor sails, and I have to bow my head a little bit in shame and say I was rather skeptical about what it would give us and what it wouldn't give us. And I must say that I'm positively surprised that the first evaluation we have done with the vessel operating a little bit more than a year has given us quite some interesting figures. So on average, for the whole voyages or the whole period, we have saved about 6.37% fuel, which means on the most predominant leg, which is the ballast leg, going from South America to primarily far east, we can get up to 10 to 12%. So it is interesting, but it's also costly. So retrofitting, you have to think twice. You have to do a good project work. And while for new buildings, we definitely discuss it, both for VLCCs and other large ships that we want to build. It's worth considering, I would say, but walk with caution.
So, Frank, I think we're running out of time now, so thank you. I think we'll just have a quick round of closing remarks, if we can have it. So why don't we start from, maybe we start from that side, Gaurav. A quick closing remarks, that'll be great. We are run out of time, so a quick one.
So I don't have much to say, but what we have discussed as a panel is quite interesting and something really new to learn about this rotor sales. I was not aware that how good the savings would be. So these kind of things, the panel becomes much more interesting when we have such also some commercial items in it. So apart from that, nothing much to add from my side. It was a pleasure to speak here, and thank you for giving this opportunity.
Frank?
Thank you. I'll do it very quick. I'll say that I think it's really, there's really good opportunities here in the Middle East. With all that happening and with all that capital available, I see very good years going ahead for us here. Very good.
Nitin?
I would say, adding to what Frank said here, I would say that the Middle East has the opportunity to actually take leadership of the world stage here, especially in light of no proper leadership and no synchronization of various bodies. So I think this is a good time for Middle East, and Middle East has the ability to do it. There is a national vision, and there's a will from the governments to do it. So I think it will definitely be done if it is done correctly. So
Great. And
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, saying again, thank you, Nicholas, for having us here. It's great to have capital. This is also an example of how important this region is. You have to understand that in this region, especially within the GCC, we are the lowest cost producer for oil and gas around the globe. We having a number of shipping companies that are on expanding trajectory. You know, Asyad, they're expanding. Bahri, we're expanding. You have KOTC, ADNOC Logistics, so it is thriving. We are a region with a large portion of the population are young, and as I said, energetic. And there's a huge amount of capital. So there's plenty of opportunity here. So thank you again for the invitation.
thank you, everyone.